Two moms, two marketers, two women new to the financial industry. They have a lot of questions. That's why they're bringing in financial experts to educate all of us here on A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts.
Hey everyone, it's Chantal and Liz with Centris Federal Credit Union. And here we are again, another episode of A Penny or Two for Your Thoughts. It's cold. It is really cold. We might be listening to this like in the summer when it's 102, but today, not so much.
Yeah. And you and I tend to park way far away from the building.
Can we talk about this? Because you already know about this. But I felt like our two listeners would want to hear about it. Yesterday, walking out to my car.
I'm so sad I wasn't turned around to see this.
Walking out to my car because I park out by you because I feel like you are a health connoisseur and I'm going to walk, put more steps in. And I walked and I made it to my car and I bit it so bad. Like just feet up and down. When you're up and all of a sudden you're down and you just lay there. Falls. Yeah. And you get up really fast and I get in my car. I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And then I realized there's security cameras all over that place.
Yeah, so, there are. My fall from inside the building is on footage and I'm pretty sure everybody at Centris has watched it.
Yeah. Yep. We've had a lot of falls recently. I don't know how this has anything to do with our podcast today, but I felt like we just needed to share the fact that it's winter and here we are.
So in summer when it's 102 and we're listening back to this, we can think, we don't have to worry about those weird ice patches in the parking lot that randomly just pop up.
Yeah.
And we can't see them.
And for our friends who are listening who have access to the security cameras, please just continue to be our friends and not share those out. How about that?
Well, they already shared mine. So like I said, everybody's pretty much seen that at Centris.
Yeah, that is true. So here we are, episode number 10.
And our listeners are in for a real treat today because we have not only one guest, we have two. Oh my gosh. Yes. There's four of us sitting here. Both have been in the financial service business for over 20 years. With us today, we have our Vice President, Special Assets Manager. He's been a part of the Centris team for almost 3 years. Woohoo! Yep. And we also have our Collections Manager. She's been with Centris for 15 years, but been a part of our Collections Department for 14. And I might add, you won't see her without a Monster Energy drink in her hands.
She walked in with one.
She did. Yep. I kind of told her to chug it before we got in here because I want to see what happens. So thanks for joining us today. We have David Ellefson and Amanda Jones.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for coming.
Yay. Your first podcast.
I'm super excited. Can you tell?
Yes. Is that the monster talking or is that Amanda?
Nope, it's still the monster. We're good. We were so excited to meet with you guys because we had so many questions about what you did. You know, this whole podcast started with us going, we have no idea what's going on in the financial industry. And we knew that you have such a huge piece of the puzzle for Centris and for the industry. And so we're excited to have you here and just chat about what's going on and what goes on in your world. So,
well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you can explain to our listeners, what is a special assets department and also, what's a collections department? I mean, I think everybody has kind of those stereotypical thoughts, but what really is a collections department and special assets team?
Well, why don't you start first, since it kind of starts with collections and then gravitates over to me.
And then you can have it?
Yeah, and then
Fantastic.
I can have it.
I like it. So collections, we see our members when they're not necessarily at their finest. So, they come in and they're super excited buying their new boat or their new car. And we get to the service reps are excited and they're excited and things don't necessarily go as planned. And so we get to see them when they're having struggles. And so we work with our members to help get them back on their feet and protect the assets of Centris and help the members.
Right.
And then on my side, special assets, when things can't be solved on Amanda's side with her team, then they gravitate over to mine. And we still try to help the member if we can. But we deal with bankruptcy filings and repossessions and foreclosures if it comes to that. But we try to avoid all of those things if we can. Those are just the last ditch efforts. we always try to do the best for the credit union and for the member. But sometimes, there's not much we can do.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we always want to hear from the member, and that's one of the reasons that we're here and we're interested in talking to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Convey that message.
Yeah. I think one of the things that we've talked to a lot about on many different episodes is that the emotional connection to your financials, right? It's emotional, especially if you get into a situation. We've all been somewhere in our lives, whether it be whatever it may be. It could be any type of financial situation that you just need help on, or you just have questions about. And I think what really drew us to this conversation with you two today was the conversation we had about just how emotionally connected you are and how much of a partnership you set with the members. Can you talk to us a little bit more about what drives your day and how that looks?
So I think what drives the collectors is that, they get the opportunity to help somebody. There's not criteria set on how much time you can spend with somebody on the phone. It's the expectation is that you get to know your member, know their story, know their kids. We want to be the first one that is willing to help the member so that obviously we have that connection and they're willing to pay.
Well, her situation is unique in her collection shop, in that the members know the collectors by name and vice versa.
They built that
and
trust.
They build the trust. And so when they call in, they want to talk to a specific collector. They don't want to talk to anybody else because they've gained a rapport, with the collector and vice versa. So they know, the collectors know the names of their kids, sporting events that they're going to, and so forth. And that's one of the nice things. One of the many nice things about being a smaller financial institution is you can do that. You can have those one-on-one exchanges, and it really helps, build trust. But there are a lot of members that want to call in. They want to talk to the collector and try to resolve their issue if they can.
And Amanda, you've had a lot of tenure on your team for a good amount of time, right?
Yes. Most of my team has been there for at least 5 years. We do have one new collector. She's just been here for a couple months, but she's already have members that are willing to talk to her and share their stories. And so it's nice for our members to be able to have that communication.
Yeah,
they have a direct number to somebody to reach.
Right.
And so it's not like you feel like you have to share your story all over again.
Well, and there's consistency there too, right? Because you've got the same group of people that goes on for years. I came from a really big financial institution where, the collection staff, it was a revolving door. And we would call our customers with a predictive dialer because it was in volume. And so to have a shop this size where there's no dialer, there's no equipment, it's literally the collectors picking up the phone and dialing the member is old school, and it's something that we want to keep, and it's unique.
Yep.
Becoming unique.
Personalization.
You bet.
So how does financial education serve a purpose within the collections team as they're working with our members?
So for each one of the collectors, they take the time to figure out what the member has coming in, going out, so that we can set realistic goals for the members. It doesn't do us any good to set goals that are going to cause them to get behind on other bills, because then we've created a vicious cycle. So they take the time, understand what the member has going in. We can help the member and coach them with, start by paying your smaller bills off so that you have that extra money to go towards your other bills. We do a lot with credit reporting. So coaching members that they can obtain a copy of their credit report using annualcreditreport.com for free. You get one of each bureau. So you pull it every 4 months, and it gives you a chance to monitor and keep track of your current credit score or credit.
Very good.
Yep.
You're serving a lot of members every single day, and you're giving them these resources, and you're having the conversations. Are there examples that have really stood out in your mind? Like this was a true win for this member, or something that just in your experience you'd like to share?
I did ask each of the collectors to kind of give me an idea of one of their most successful stories. One of the collectors who's been with Centris for 28 years has had one member that just recently paid off a loan that we thought for sure would never get paid off. And it meant so much to him that he actually showed up at the branch to get the opportunity to thank her for working with him for so many years and wanted to take the time to meet her. So our new collector has already had an emotional connection with the member that we have tried for months to get in touch with, sent letters with no response. And she finally got the member on the phone and had figured out that her son, who was a co-borrower, was just recently diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And so she just had a lot on her plate and she wasn't sure even where to go or how to address the conversation. And so the collector was able to help her get that loan at least close to current and come up with a plan. But the member also had her own loan. Right. So it's just taking that time to understand what the member has going on. The member is closer to being current, but has reached out to the collector just with updates on her son's cancer to keep her involved in what's going on. So those are the nice things that we get to do.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have those conversations. We've had members that have had babies and, you know, we get to know the whole story and then call them later just to see how things are going. Yeah. So it's just that unique connection that we get to, that bond that we have with each of our members.
It's not that doom and gloom that kind of goes along with the term collections, right? I mean, that's what I thought we found so amazing in talking to you guys before this is how that connection really is made. And it doesn't have to be so aggravated or angry, I guess, all the time. So it's great to hear these stories.
It's important to understand that we can't help if we don't know. And so if they don't call or don't get in contact with us, then we create our own script. Right. And so it doesn't always lead to a happy ending.
Right.
We can't fix everybody. We can't make miracles happen, but we can at least work with you if, you know, you're willing to work with us and set some realistic arrangements.
Yeah. Right. You can set a plan together that you both can agree on.
Yeah, we want to hear from the members. And if they're having financial difficulty, we'd rather hear from them sooner rather than later.
Right.
Again, we run a unique shop and we have the time to have those one-on-one conversations. If the conversation lasts 15 minutes, that's fine. It can last a half an hour. You know, there's no time constraint to that conversation, like there are in a lot of other shops. And so we encourage our members, if they're having issues or they think they're going to have an issue, to reach out to us. We want to talk to them and see if, you know, there's something that we can do for them.
I mean, right now it's, we don't know what we're going into the new year, right? The economy is where it is. Seasonality is a piece of it too. So it's like, tell people, raise your hand, ask the questions, trust us, right? Before it can be too late, right?
That's absolutely true. And another thing I'd like to say too is, you know, we're all in the same community. We're not in New York, or San Francisco or LA. We're right here in Omaha, Nebraska. And we're Midwesterners. We grew up here just like our members did, right? And so we have a pretty good bead on what's going on in the community, what's going on with our local economy. So, you know, so that I think that helps with the dialogue that we have with our members.
Well, and like Chantel said earlier, we've all gone through some sort of struggle at some point in our life, you know, whether it was right out of college trying to figure things out or even a couple years ago or whatever that looks like. But we've all been there. We're all going through the same things. We're all living the same hardships that is going into the unknown of 2023 and what that looks like. So we know that the member needs to get a hold of you sooner rather than later, but what's some other tips or advice that you can give to our members when they do work with the collections team and when they're getting in contact with your collectors?
I would say to make sure that you have an idea of what's going on, have some form of a plan, realistic plan that what can you afford to pay? And do you have an end goal, or, you know, even just calling in, even if you're feeling embarrassed or uncertain, call in, or email, or so that we can come up with a plan together.
Right.
and
Two heads are better than one.
have a
Right.
solution.
Absolutely.
Yep.
And, it's important for the members to know that, what we talk about with them is confidential, and they shouldn't be embarrassed. They shouldn't be ashamed. Everybody has difficulties at one point in their life. We all went to college, right? We know what that's
Yep.
like. So, they should put that out of their mind, that we're ultimately there to see what we can do for them, to help them. And they shouldn't be ashamed to give us a call.
No, we'd rather them call and get in touch with us because the problem doesn't just go away. Ignoring it doesn't make it any better. And so we definitely would rather them reach out to us so that we can work out some arrangements.
Right, we're here to help.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like all the advice we got, we could have made a country song. It's really good.
It
really
is.
good.
It'd be a happy
Just
country
really,
song, though.
really happy
Yeah.
country song.
Yeah.
I really do feel like this today was
Like,
just really.
At the end of the country song, like you'd want to hug somebody.
Yeah.
Like
They're
that's
there.
next
That's how
to
I
you.
feel like.
Are there happy country songs?
Yeah. Yes, I'm
Okay.
sure there are.
Ish.
I just feel like, and joking aside, it's that I can feel the emotion you guys have for your work. I mean,
Yeah.
the passion and that you do truly care. I mean, I wish I could bottle this feeling right now
Mhm.
because it's very obvious that you're doing this for the members and just stressing. Just call in. Just ask. for
Right.
help.
Right.
Exactly.
You genuinely care about them. You genuinely
Yeah.
want to help them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to make it a little bit easier on them so that they can deal with whatever's happening in their
Mhm.
life, because life's hard and
You bet.
there are things that come up that we have to deal with. And sometimes we have to, like you said, put a plan in place, and we can't do that alone. So the fact that you're willing to help, that just
Yeah.
gives you the warm fuzzies inside.
Well, I think that the timing of this podcast is good going into the holidays,
Yeah.
going
Yes.
into a new year with the economic woes that everybody's feeling right now. I think this is really a good timing, and I hope our members take time to listen to this because 2023 could be a very interesting year for all of us.
Right. Absolutely.
Right.
And we all watch the news, and we know what milk costs and gas costs.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's going to be an interesting 2023. So
Yeah.
it's good timing.
You've kind of answered this question for us, but
Yeah.
we like to leave our segment on as a penny or two for your thoughts. What do you want to leave listeners with?
I would say just to call. I've got a great team and they really, truly are there to help.
Yeah.
And so if we have that opportunity, then we'd like that opportunity to help, and we can't do it if you don't reach out.
Perfect.
Right? Yep.
Very good.
I ditto that completely.
Very good.
You bet.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us, maybe help clarify what our collections department special
Yes.
assets team do. And you really work with the members and help them out. And like I said, if we could write a country song about it, make you feel the warm fuzzies that we feel in this room right now, we would do it.
Maybe that's our next podcast.
Yeah, maybe we
just write a country song.
a country song about all the podcasts that we've done.
Oh, nice.
Continue to listen to
Okay.
us, and who knows
right.
what will happen.
Uh-huh.
Right, who knows?
Well, for our listeners, if you don't want a country song for our next one, you can always email us at pennyforyourthoughts@centrisfcu.org to give us other topics to talk about. If you don't want to miss an episode, our country singing, be sure to subscribe to our podcasts, rate, review, and share. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And for more great financial information and some of that education that our team is sharing, visit our website at centrisfcu.org or just give us a call, 402-334-7000. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks, everyone.